Trails Farm. Today I'm going to talk to you about making reusable flannel baby wipes. I used to sell these in my eBay store, and how I got doing that was I used to make these for my kids. If you ever had a baby, you know that diapers, if you're buying disposable diapers and you're buying disposable wipes and all of that stuff, can start getting a lot pricey. And also they're disposable products that we're throwing a lot away. And although they are most of the time biodegradable, they do take a while to break down in landfills. And if you try to compost them in with your compost, you really can't put them in with the general compost because of the human excrement and urine. So you would have to compost them separately. These are really easy to make, and I will provide a link. I've written an article just on making baby wipes with a replacement baby wipe fluid that you can put these down. You can fold these and put them in. You can reuse a baby wipe container and put them down in there with the fluid, or you can just put them in a Tupperware container, or you know, whatever kind of container. I used to also put them in just in a gallon baggie like this with a little bit of the fluid in it to keep them moist and wet while I was, you know, out and about as well. But I've written two articles, one just on the baby wipes and one on prepping with children and infants, and I also talk about the reusable baby wipes there, and I also give that recipe. So I will link to those articles. The one is fairly old, I want to say probably 2015. The other one is more recent, 2018 maybe 2019. So I'll link to those, and if you generally like to read your instructions written, this will help you out. Each wipe needs two 6.5-inch square of cotton flannel, and it can be solid, it can be prints, you can do whatever you want. When I was selling them, I usually stuck with the solids, and I sold them in all blues, all pinks, and then I also did all yellows, I think, and then I did mix and match, which was like, you know, it was yellow, white, blue, pink is what it looks like. And so everything was pastels for babies, obviously. And what you're going to do, and if you have a serger, this is going to work even better, is you're going to put your square together, your two squares together, and you're going to just zigzag the edges. And then what I would go do after that is I would zigzag, and then I would trim it. I like to do them rounded, and then I would just trim it close to the stitching. So let's do that real quick. And I'm using just this scrap of flannel I have. I don't have any more babies. I'm not selling them anymore, so I didn't want to, you know, just dig for the blue or pink. I just grabbed whatever flannel scrap I could find. And I'm just using a navy blue and a Christmas green threads that I had, just so it makes it easier for you to see what I'm doing. I'm going to set this on my widest zigzag because I want it to be a pretty good zigzag, and the tightest that my machine will do. And like I said, if you have a serger, that will make it all the more easy for you. Just line up your Okay, again, and I'll mention, if you've been watching my videos, you know that my sewing machine feeder is dying, so if you see me tug on the fabric, that's not something you want to do to your machine. It's not the appropriate way to sew. It's just what I have to do until I get a new machine for Christmas, so that's what's happening. Get it stitched, just trim your edges. You can also just cut it round if you wanted to, but I find it's easier just to trim, just make the squares and then just trim around them. And my favorite thing to do, I used to just like to put them right back in, fold them in half and put them in a baby wipes container that originally had other baby wipes in it. I would just fold them in half like that and put them down. You know, most of the baby wipe containers are rectangular, and you just lay them down in there. And so it's double-sided So it's got a nice thickness to it, but it's not too thick. You know, it's not like if you ever grabbed a washcloth and it was just so thick that it was hard to clean the baby with. So this is a nice thickness, and like I said, you can use any prints, you can use leftovers, the solid ones I think make a really nice gift if you can sew for, to make a whole bunch of these for a new mother if you know one, and it's just another product that we use and throw away that is a little bit harder to compost due to the human waste situation. But one thing I will say, what I did with my babies, they look really these wipes look really nice when they start out, but that's one reason why I usually use solids, is because just like in the old days where women used to throw the diapers into a pail, of sometimes like a bleach solution or vinegar and lemon or lemon juice, whatever you're using, and then wash them. That's what I used to do with the wipes. I would clean them real well and make sure I removed all the waste into the toilet, and then I would throw them into the pail I used a diluted bleach solution for mine. It wasn't, I mean, it was heavy enough that you could smell the bleach, but it wasn't like straight bleach. It was more water than bleach. It was enough bleach to kill the germs. And so it kept mine, you know, fairly nice looking, but they did get bleached out eventually. And eventually you get to one where the stitching comes off and it just becomes, you know, an unraveled mess, and you just get rid of that one. But they do last a long time. I had several that lasted through 2 babies, and so I never had more than 2 babies. All my kids are 4 years apart, so I never really had more than 2 babies at one time, kind of thing. I mean, if you count 4 as a baby, so, but I mean, they lasted to the next kid, is what I'm trying to say. So I mean, they carried on through the thing there, but they fold up nice, and you can put them in like a sandwich baggie or something with the baby wipe fluid on there, and that works well. So the baby wipe solution that I always make, I used in, I wrote an article on prepping with, what was the name of it? When It's Not Just About You, Prepping with Infants and Children, and this was in Prepper Survival Guide, and it came out, I think it was spring. It was displayed till July 15th, 19th, so it must have been spring probably. And I talk about disposable, I talk about cloth diapers and making the reusable wipes, and the diaper wipe solution is easy. It's 2 cups of water, 2.5 tablespoons of baby shampoo, and 1 tablespoon of baby oil. Some people like to add a little bit of vitamin E. I never did that. I just did the baby shampoo. I've also replaced, you know, have that, like, is it Johnson & Johnson? I think everybody does now. That has the baby soap, like the baby cleanser. It's like a shower gel stuff. Once in a while, I'd replace the shampoo. If I was running low on shampoo, I could use, you know, the same amount of that as well. And I do believe I've left out the baby oil a few times too. So, so that's a easy replacement baby wipe solution that you can put in your reusable container with your homemade reusable flannel baby wipes. And it just gets you, again, off that dependency of all those disposable products, that mostly to save money and to cut down on my, you know, just contributing to the waste products of the world. Also, these are good if you have a baby that's highly allergic to store-bought products like disposable diapers and the dyes and the scents and just all of it. These are really great because as you're making your own solution, you can figure out, you know, if your baby's allergic to a certain brand of something, you can change that and you have more control over it. It's not full of chemicals and not full of weird stuff you can't pronounce. It's baby shampoo, water, and baby oil, and that's it. And you can control the amounts that are going in there. So I hope this has been helpful for you and encourages you to look around and see what products you can start replacing in your house for a more self-sustaining lifestyle, so you don't have to continue to shop, 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 and dispose, dispose, dispose. And let your imagination be your guide as to the flannels that you choose, and these are small enough that they are a great product to use up remnants and extra pieces and scraps of flannel that you might have from other craft projects too. So this has been Angie from Canterbury Trails Farm, and thank you for joining us today. Bye.